r/relationships. Primary Art 4604 says, my 37/M wife 36/F went through a major transformation and no longer thinks she wants to be with me unless I change. I've never had to do this before, so hopefully I make this coherent. And I've been with my wife for 14 years. We nearly fell instantly in love and spent all of our time together. I proposed child 3 years together in the fall, and we got married the following summer. We have 3 amazing kids together who we are both fully in love with. We live a relatively simple life. I work at a well-paying corporate job. She had held multiple jobs over the years and has always felt a strong sense of success. I wish I could say the same for me. I graduated college at once of the worst times for my generation and struggled with finding a solid career path. After a few years, before I proposed, I was lucky enough to get a temp job working for a Fortune 100 company and worked my way up over time. I never enjoyed my work, but always worked my butt off to be as successful as possible, knowing that there's always a next thing to shoot for. And mild story break, but very important. Throughout both of our lives, my wife and I have struggled with our weights. I have spent the majority of my life very overweight. Don't think my 600-pound life, but the really fat guy you see at a pool, and she has always been very overweight as well. We've worked on our weights throughout our relationships. I was actually in relatively good shape when we met, but neither of us have ever had continued success. She actually had lap band early in our relationship, before marriage, and ended up having all the fluid removed in the 2nd year, rendering the device useless. That being said, I never loved her any less, and always made sure she knew this. And last year, my wife had another, different, bariatric procedure done. For anyone not familiar with these surgeries, these are not taken lightly in the medical community. Months of surgeon appointments, nutritionists, psych evaluations, and she did everything by the book. I continued to support her as she felt strongly about this. Since the procedure, she has lost /70 pounds and is living a very active lifestyle. And cutting back to me, a little good news on my career. I started a new role 2 years ago and began to hate it pretty quickly. Leadership was weak, had no vision, and I was struggling to get through the day, something I saw in one of my previous roles. The first time, I ended up seeing a psychiatrist and was put on antidepressants. The antidepressants made it easier to live my life, but as a side effect I began to gain weight. I had to balance out liking the person I felt like and the person I looked like. I ended up being the heaviest I had been in my life and stopped taking the pills and seeing the doctor. I never really liked the doctor. He was fine, but seemed like a means to a prescription. I've come back down in weight and have remained stable since then, but am still morbidly obese. And I promised good news. At my current job in the last year leadership changed, we reorged, and leadership is working directly with me to build a career I love. I didn't think these kind of things could happen, but I'm actually happy with my job. I get up in the morning and look forward to taking on the day. Over the last few months, I've gone to conferences, and I'm building a vision for the work I've been assigned. This happiness has bloomed in the last 3 months. Last week I shared my 1-year plan for the company with leadership and they were so impressed, they've asked me to bump the plan to 3 years. I shared this news with my wife and she seemed happy for me. And this week has been rough. I can tell something has been different with my wife, and she seems distant. I know she sometimes has extreme hormone swings, based on a non-threatening medical condition she has. I want to be very clear, this is a real thing. I'm not trying to be snarky and assumed she is having an episode. These usually last a few days and her body normalizes itself out. I pulled back being overly emotional with her because it's usually a negative trigger, but after our youngest was asleep she sent the older kids to watch a movie and told me she wanted to talk to me. And normally when we have an issue with our relationship, we give it a few days and we share what's been bothering both of us. When she asked to talk, I immediately told her I'm willing to talk, but truly have no issues to share with her. I shared what I just previously shared, which is I believe she's having an episode, and was trying to give her a little space. She began to tell me that with her weight loss, she has a newfound confidence and feels like I'm dragging our family down. I never take the lead on planning active events for our family, we never have done this in the past, and she doesn't see me putting in the effort to lose weight that she is doing. I struggle with this for a few reasons, and one, I don't feel like bariatric surgery is for me. I'm in no way opposed to it for people who want it, but I don't see bariatric surgery as a solution for me. It's just not my thing, and is a major commitment. And 2, she has a job where she works limited hours and works out every day for 2.5 hours. The gym has childcare for the baby, and once the big kids are on the bus, she goes to the gym and grinds super hard. I'm very proud of her for the work she puts in, and I've shared this with her. I don't have the time to do that. I would either need to sacrifice my job, not happening, or go to the gym immediately after work and sacrifice the time with my kids, not ideal, emo. I have been working out 3 to 4 mornings a week in the basement, mostly cardio. And 3, she does all the shopping in the house, and she shops relatively clean. She buys some snacks for the kids, but I don't eat those, and eat what she buys for us. I'm sure in theory, if I ate 1200 calories a day, I would lose weight, but I'd also drive myself crazy starving. I've tried every diet there is, and I've never found long-term success. And she also shared that she feels like I'm holding her back from doing hiking trips. I've never done so. We actually did a multi-night national park trip a few years back where we hiked multiple days and doing things, and she said she does not know if she can be with me if I don't share her new lifestyle. And I was shocked by this as I've supported her in everything she has done in her life, and based on the last 8 months, she is willing to throw it all away. I froze at the opportunity to say I'll do whatever it takes because I don't have the confidence that her goals will be realistic for me. She struggled to really drill down what this all looks like for me. I ended up at a stalemate, bawled my eyes out, and told her I needed to think about things before I could talk more. And I spent a few hours reflecting, and she said she wanted to talk more. This is where I'm really at a loss for words. She started going back to her original points she discussed, but then started bringing up how she was no longer satisfied sexually. She said sex with me is difficult, she never had a problem when she was larger, and she wants more in her sex life. She asked me if I would be interested in a threesome, which sounds like every guy's fantasy, but this was the most confusing part for her to bring this up here. This is something we had joked about a long time ago, and she never seemed interested in something like that. She said that she now fantasizes about someone holding her up during sex, and I can't do that for her. I immediately said that absolutely that's not something I'm into with the context of our current situation. She then asked me what I thought about being in an open relationship, something we've never talked about, and something that truly hurt me. Again, for people who are in open relationships, that is fine, but not something I'm interested in being a part of. I completely broke down with this, and I feel like my world is collapsing down on me. I've already taken the day off work tomorrow, and don't even know what to do. And am I crazy to not have jumped at her suggestion to share her new lifestyle? I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure by doing so without even really understanding what that is. How do I even go about figuring out what to do next? I'm too embarrassed to talk to my friends about this. Do I need a therapist to talk to? Couples therapy? I have no idea. And she's texted me since our last talk saying she loves me and always will, but I don't even know what to say to her back. And any thoughts or advice would be greatly appreciated. And too long. Didn't read. My wife has lost a significant amount of weight, and now she says she can't be with me if I can't adopt. Deceased says, you definitely need to talk more and get to the bottom of these changes / new feelings and desires. People do change, and sometimes they grow apart. Your wife has been open about her change at least, and you've been supportive. But such drastic physical changes really can alter a lot about a person. There's the improved fitness and energy, more confidence and greater self-esteem, positive hormonal changes and more. And that's not to mention how differently one is treated by society when they're bigger, so she's seeing the better side of society now. That's got to do a number on her emotionally and mentally. With all these changes, maybe it's as simple as not wanting to be ridiculed for being with someone that's treated differently, now that she's changing. Or maybe it's as bad as her having met someone else, maybe at the gym, that she would be more comfortable walking around with. I mean, you can make all sorts of assumptions and drive yourself crazy, or just talk to your wife. Start with that. D. Dumsban says, dude, you can eat loads and lose weight, it's just not your usual stuff. Thiscoldba Massive says, couples therapy would be a good choice, but I think maybe what would help better is if the two of you saw a weight loss specialist together so that she could get a more realistic idea of the natural range of healthy lifestyles and you can have a healthy framework for losing weight. You say that you eat the same healthy diet as she does, only larger proportions, and you exercise regularly, just not to the degree she does. So it's not what you are doing that she's unhappy at, it's the lack of results. She needs to know that everyone's journey to better health is different. Part of hers included surgery, which comes with dramatic weight loss usually tapering off over time. Yours is the more classic healthy diet, not starvation, and exercise, and your rate of weight loss will naturally be slower, but steady and sustainable. Do not agree to a threesome, or opening your relationship. Even with poly people, it doesn't solve unrelated relationship problems. Wickedly Willed says, I think the way this has played out to this point, that it's likely already over. You've just entered the stage of how long it takes for both of you to realize that. I'd venture to guess that she's getting more attention with her weight loss and she's entered the grass is greener on the other side mindset. There is a million better ways to introduce the topic of weight loss to your partner and or swaying them the direction of a healthier lifestyle if your focus is marriage preservation / care for your partner. The fact she immediately sidestepped into talk of a three-way / open marriage almost certainly means she has someone / people in mind for this. Decent possibility she has already ventured down that path. Regardless, it's clear the pathway of her thinking at this point and it's completely self-serving. Maybe she has been unhappy a long time and simply failed to communicate it. Sorry this is happening to you, it's not fair, but life rarely is. Despite how much people want to deny it as reality, fact is humans are overall self-serving / will typically think of themselves first. She likely is getting newfound attention, and thus has a newly heightened sense of self-worth that she feels you aren't worthy of. Sure, you were with her along the way and played a role in what allowed her to achieve her success, which should mean something, but again, humans are self-serving by nature. Chuckista says, sorry to say, but you are married to a selfish human being who doesn't think far. She will add weight again. People die during those types of surgery, just so you know. Hedonisty Egg says, I'm gonna be harsh, it sounds like the writing may be on the wall here. Surgery for weight loss, open relationship. These are drastic steps to take, and it sounds like they are showstoppers for you. Do you think she's aware of that? Is she ultimately offering you something she knows you won't take so can get out of the relationship? Montessori program says, I'm all for ethical monogamy. What she's suggesting is not that. She's suggesting a one-sided situation where she gets to sleep around and you have to deal with it. And she brings it up after putting you down about your role in the family and your weight. Hell no, brother. Do not do it. Tot-owned Hunk says, well, she cheated to get to her weight loss goal, so I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to take a shortcut to her aesthetic dream lifestyle. Damn, does she have a new ego on her and doesn't understand how good she has it. Sorry you are experiencing this. An under-desk treadmill did wonders for me to start my active journey working full-time. Outside of this, maybe just like your journey with your job, you need to find an active hobby you enjoy, just for your health really. She has no right to make such demands of you. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. I'd be shaming her for being so abrasive and rude about it. Like you created a great life for her, and she is taking it for granted and treating the father or her children as disposable. Hell, I'd bring her mother into the conversation to shame her. Just tell her you will go hiking and that you can keep up and she's being ridiculous. If anything, give her more to do, ask her to financially contribute more because it seems she has enough time on her hands to provide more value. Make the kids busy and have her help because again she has enough time to get stupid ideas in her head. Or better yet, say you can keep up if she takes this off your plate so you can find an active hobby you enjoy: biking, swimming, jiu-jitsu, whatever. She's very disrespectful in her. Ice Queen Ronnie says, I hate to tell you, but she's having an affair. This isn't about you, this is about her. Frequent Fact 143 says, dude, your wife either has a side guy already or she has one lined up. But based on her treatment of you, she already has a side guy. Her telling you that you need to change is just justification in her mind to cheat on you. Mary Rosga says, now that she's skinny she thinks she can do better than you? Look, the country I come from is obsessed with appearances, and I have seen several people close to me lose half their body weight after getting bariatric surgery, balloon, band, staples, you name it, along with therapy and education on nutrition. None has opened their marriage or gotten a divorce because they suddenly got hot and fit. She's the problem, not you. You could be healthier, yes, but that was not an issue for her before. It's either marriage counseling or divorce. You don't have to open your relationship just because she wants carte blanche to sleep around. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.